Hello, 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 hello. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I will.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Liz Tortorella, and my pronouns are she and her. I serve as chair of the worship committee, and if you'd like to know a little more about that, we collaborate to create services when Reverend Craig is not in the pulpit. So see me anytime if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. I draw your attention to the back of your orders of service for announcements and service information for next week. For those on the live stream and for video viewers, the order of service link is available to you in the YouTube service description box. After the service, refreshments will be served in the community room, and there's a bake sale today. Come enjoy it and support it. People of all ages are welcome to visit with one another. If you are new to us, please do check out our website, uucmc.org, where you can sign up to get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We look forward to getting to know you better. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope.
This small piece for organ by Krechaninoff is chosen today in honor of the child dedication.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Craig Rubano. Thank you for coming out on a decidedly rainy day. Because it's not rainy in here this morning, we have a special treat in store for us all. It's always special when, roughly once monthly, we intentionally direct a service toward the full breadth of our multi-generational community, inviting our children and youth to be with us throughout. But today, truly leaning into our congregational theme for the month of February of inclusion, we dedicate two people to our congregational care who are at the very early end of the multi-generational spectrum. In our first child dedications since the pandemic, we have a reason to experience joy, a reason to feel hope, a reason to have faith in one another at a time when all three can seem to be in short supply. We're grateful to have Ren and Zach Prost and their children, Tiana and Tyler, with us this morning, along with their families. Let the ceremony later in the service be a reminder to us all that the true blessing of inclusion is not that you and your children get to come inside our circle. It's that we get to participate with you in expanding it. As the circle grows, so do we all. I invite our Credentialed Director of Family Ministry, Michelle McKenzie-Creech, to join me as we co-lead this morning's proceedings, beginning with our call to worship, with the word worship understood in its original meaning of a shaping concern for all that is of worth. Hear these words from the Reverend Sherry Woodbury, settled minister of the First Unitarian Church of Omaha, Nebraska. To all who are yearning for community, come in, be among us.
To all who are just getting started, to all who long to go deeper, to all with tender places needing care, come in, be among us.
To those who have healed and have care to give, for those who are curious and hungry to learn, for those who know that they have something to teach, come in, be among us.
For the ones who are just beginning to suspect they might nurture others becoming, to the young and the old, the innocent and the jaded, the fresh of mind and the deeply steeped, there is room here for each and every one. Come in. Be among us.
Come, let us worship together. We light a flame inside a chalice cup each week to remind ourselves that the spark inside each of us is in constant need of rekindling. On this Valentine's Day weekend, when love is in the air, we remind ourselves that love is far broader than a romantic whim entertained once a year with overpriced flowers. Indeed, love is at the center of everything we do as a Unitarian Universalist congregation. And this morning, to light our chalice, I invite two women who will become the newest members of our congregation following the service when they sign the book, the Reverend Rhea Carroll and her daughter Maria Rebman. Our chalice lighting words were written especially for this morning by Reverend Scott Taylor, head of the Soul Matters curricula group from which we get our monthly themes. We light this chalice in the names of love, the love of family that brings us into being, allows us to bloom, then sends us on our way with courage, knowing we can return no matter what.
The love of partnered hearts that teach us to trust and help us know that who we are does not end at the barrier of our own skin.
The love of friends who help us feel seen and sing our song back to us when we cannot hear it with our ears alone.
The love of community that bathes us in belonging and calls us to see the needs of others as our own.
And the greatest love, the love that will not let us go, even in our fear, even in our failure, even when we are lonely or lost. Love invites us home. If we listen, it is doing so even today. Thank you, Rhea Marina.
We will now sing number 338, I Seek the Spirit of a Child, wherever you are comfortable, standing or seated.
I seek the spirit of a child who meets my naturally, a child who sings the world aloud and greets the morning song with glee. Children are really on all heart. Wonder of a child, the child who sees delightfully, now clowns in cloud, now gold in sun, imaginations true and free. Children are real beyond all lies. May I see faith's a gift to our heart.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our social justice partners through the good works of organizations which receive half of the monies collected each month. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of February is Black Lives of UU, or BLUE, host of Blue Ministerial Network, a collective of ministers, religious professionals, and lay leaders who provide pastoral care to Black Unitarian Universalists. Just launched is Blue Havens, which will give Black folks opportunities to socialize, organize, and spiritually grow with other Black people, especially Black UUs, in their local communities. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by the ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, send your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online with the memo designating an amount to Black Lives of UU. Please give generously.
Now I'm on, I think. Yes. I turned it off and hit mute. I must not have wanted anyone to hear my singing. Tomorrow is Random Acts of Kindness Day. It happens every year on February 17th. It's a day that reminds us of the profound impact that simple, small gestures of kindness can have on our lives and the lives of those around us. It's about little moments, the words we speak, the way we show up for each other, the small, quiet acts that may seem insignificant in the moment, but that ripple outward in ways that we may not fully see. So I have a question for you. What good things happened in your life yesterday? How many small moments of joy, subtle wins, the simplest things? Yesterday, my wife and I had a frustrating experience of putting on very complicated couch covers that came in 6 pieces on our new furniture, but it ended in a fit of laughter. Now, it's okay if you only had a few things come to mind when I asked you to think of something positive that happened yesterday, and maybe you're still thinking about it. Now, what if I asked you to remember any negative experiences from yesterday? Maybe you had a misunderstanding with a friend, or maybe you stepped in a puddle of water, or you spilled something on your favorite shirt. I'm going to go out on a limb because I suspect that many of you had an easier time coming up with the negative experience than the positive. When I lead meetings sometimes, I offer people an opportunity to share a rose or a thorn, or a joy and a sorrow during check-in. It's a way for us to get closer and to bond as community. And I noticed in myself, it's always the thorns that come to me first. Things have been hard lately, and there is no shortage of negativity in our world. And so lately I've been thinking about something called the 5-to-1 ratio of negativity bias. Research suggests that for every one negative experience we have, we need 5 positive experiences to balance it out. 5 for every one negative experience. That tells us something about how our minds work. Negative experiences tend to stick with us. They tend to sink deep into our memories, and they shape how we see ourselves in the world. A harsh word, a moment of rejection, an unkind comment. These are the things that linger in our hearts long after they happen. But positivity, encouragement, love, those things actually take more effort to hold on to. Over and over, the mind reacts to bad things more quickly, strongly, and persistently than to equivalent good things. This is what psychologist Jonathan Haidt said in an article in the New York Times. But this is why kindness is so powerful. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's necessary. It's healing. And it's something that we can consciously cultivate. Imagine what might happen if we each committed to adding more positive experiences to the memory banks of those around us. Imagine if we were intentional about offering words of affirmation, acts of generosity, or simple moments of presence to one another. What if we were more intentional about identifying the positive, small moments in our own lives? So today I want to invite you to do just that. Now, I've created a collection of Valentines, each with an affirmation, words of encouragement and truth that I hope will find a home in somebody's heart. They're phrases like, "You are loved," "You make a difference," "Your light shines bright," "You are enough." These cards, they feature JetPig. Now, if you've never heard of JetPig, JetPig is fueled by love. JetPig is a mnemonic to help us remember the values Unitarian Universalists share: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. As you leave the Earth Room today, I invite you to take one of these cards, one of these Valentines. Take one for yourself, or pass it along to someone who might need it. Consider it a deposit in your bank of positive experiences, or gift it to someone whose balance might be running low. In Unitarian Universalism, we often speak of interconnectedness, our commitment to building a more just and compassionate world. It doesn't take much: a kind word, a note of encouragement, smile, a moment of patience while putting on couch covers with your partner. And yet these small acts can be transformative. So today, let's be generous with our kindness. Let's be mindful of the power of our words and actions. And let's remember that every single time that we choose kindness, we are helping to tip the balance toward love, healing, and hope, not just for ourselves, but for every person we encounter. May we be bearers of light and love today and always. May it be so, and amen.
Oops. I'm going to suggest that the ceremony of child dedication may be the most profound in our repertoire, for it reminds us of where we are at home, and also that we are always in motion, bound for greater inclusion, greater wholeness. And it does so because the ritual is about children while also necessarily about us. Now, in our Unitarian Universalist tradition, we have several ways that we mark change in another person's life. Of course, for adults, marriage and memorials are key. For our younger folks, as we will see later this spring, we have coming of age, where we will hear young people's perspectives on how they are looking at their lives in light of this faith tradition. And we will also have a bridging ceremony honoring graduating high schoolers' symbolic passage from youth to young adulthood. At each of those occasions, the gathered congregation witnesses and participates in celebrating an event in the life of the young person. Likewise, for newcomer adults, at the end of Getting to Know UCMC course, as we will do right after the service today, we gather as a cohort and welcome their arrival here, providing the option of a ceremonial signing of the book for those who want to become full-fledged members. I'm not sure, however, that in any of these rituals involving change in others, we necessarily register the concomitant changes taking place in who we are. So in terms of our February congregational theme, perhaps no ceremony is as bold an act of inclusion, especially when done as part of a Sunday service, than a child dedication, in which the youngest of us are announced using their own names, celebrated as part of their family unit, and having their unfolding lives proactively included in who we are and where we are going. Child dedications offer a challenging lesson. I say challenging because in them we are also committing to changing ourselves alongside the children being dedicated. We enact a change in the composition of our congregational body for, we hope, years to come. In my February newsletter, I quoted Angel Kyodo Williams, an ordained Zen Buddhist priest and founder of the Center for Transformative Change in Berkeley, California, when she says, inclusivity is not how do we make you a part of what we are, but how do we become more of what you are? So to promise, as we're about to do, to participate in the becoming of the youngest of us indefinitely into the future says a lot about who we aspire to be. It says that we are willing, that we seek even, to metamorphose beyond our current comfort level because the value we place on diversity and transformation is so high. It's as if we flipped the order of our mission statement. We seek the transformation of our world. We realize it will have to begin with transformation within ourselves. And we know that we'll accomplish this most effectively if we do so in the company of others. So we, person by person, inclusion by inclusion, build an ever-changing, ever-moving community. A child dedication is an act of valuing the building blocks for transforming the world. What a loving act of hope. Hope hasn't been plentiful in my life these last weeks, but I recently read a reflection by a UU colleague in Minnesota, the Reverend Dr. Oscar Sinclair, that gave me a perspective that I think speaks to us this morning. His thoughts took flight from a quote by Václav Havel, in which the Czech playwright and statesman wrote, "Hope transcends the world that is immediately experienced. It is anchored somewhere beyond the world's horizons." Sinclair reflected that an anchor is typically something that holds something in one place, and I'd add not such a great symbol for a community bent on transformational change. But then he thought of an old sailing vessel before the advent of motorization. When a schooner, built to work with the wind on the open sea, anchored at port, how did it get back out when there was no wind at all, or worse, when the wind was in its face? Sinclair describes the process of warping. The crew of the ship would take the anchor and put it in a rowboat, row as far away as the anchor line allowed, then drop it. The ship then would haul in the anchor, not to bring it up to the surface, but to move the ship to where the anchor was buried. By repeating the process, even the largest sailing ship could be moved forward out of harbor and reach the open sea without any wind. But it takes a lot of people working together with great patience. Sinclair muses now that he thinks of an anchor as a kind of motivation when the wind is against us. Hope doesn't require that the wind be at our backs. It's not moored to a certain understanding of the experienced world. Hope is challenging, if not impossible, to grasp alone. Hope in this sense is a discipline to anchor ourselves to something that we can't quite grasp yet, but that we trust is there, and a discipline to pull ourselves together towards that goal, together, one day at a time. This morning, we will vow to accompany young children in their emerging lives among us, because doing so is the long-haul project of building community, where we are changed, transformed, becoming agents in the world's transformation. A child dedication service is nothing less than an act of hope, anchored somewhere beyond the historical horizon we have access to right now, but towards which we are bound in our ever-moving home, often with the wind in our faces, in which rowboat trip after rowboat trip, we are changing the world. And that strikes me as profound.
The choir will be singing a choral arrangement of a song called Here Is My Home, and it is sort of the musical culmination of this month's theme of inclusion. As we say gently, or perhaps not gently, that all who so call this place home and wish to call it home can say, here is my home. And as Craig just said, where it will take us, where are we bound? Which is such a beautiful world. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night, here is my home. Good friends from whom we now must part. Where are we bound? Your hands and voices fill my heart. Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home.
For those who work in harmony,
Where are we bound?
will learn to work in unity.
Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound?
We've set aside a special time, the ceremony of dedication, to bless these children and to celebrate the gift of their lives' blessing to us all. The ceremony does not make the lives of children sacred. Life is sacred inherently. When we dedicate these children, we acknowledge the truth that each child's life is sacred, and that we hold that truth in light of our faith commitments.
We are all part of the interconnected web of all existence. Community is part of the fabric that holds all human life. The story of many shared lives woven into our cultures and the saga of each individual. We are who we are in part because of the love and guidance and the inspiration and ideals that we receive, especially those who parent, not only in the task of nourishing life, but also in weaving the threads of culture together, history, value, arts, wisdom, visions, weaving it into a fabric that can enfold an extended family.
We are all blessed when we welcome into the human family, when we welcome a child into the human family and give our blessing to the child's life as they begin their journey. I want to invite two of our children, Kyle and Ryan, to come forward and light the candles we'll use for today's ceremony. Thank you.
Our reading comes from The Prophet by Lebanese-American writer, poet, and visual artist Khalil Gibran. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the children of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and she bends you with her might, that her arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as she loves the arrow that flies, so she loves also the bow that is stable." We invite parents Ren and Zach Prost, along with their children Tiana and Tyler, to join us on the chancel.
The ceremony we share is both ancient and timeless. In all parts of the earth, and from the earliest days of recorded history, parents have brought children at an early age to a place of worship, sharing their joy and dedication with those of the wider community.
This is a public occasion, shared by parents, family, and friends, to recognize that each child born into the world is a blessing of life eternal and the embodiment of all human potential. This occasion also reminds us that we all have a responsibility toward these children. It is our task to give them a world of peace and justice in which to grow, and to share with them our ideals and our hopes. Ren and Zach, you bring your children here today that they may be dedicated in faith and receive the blessing of love before this faith community, which is but a reflection of and witness to the love that enfolds us all. I ask you to dedicate yourselves to the upbringing of Tiana and Tyler in the full unfolding of their spirits, teaching them by word as well as example.
Ren and Zach, will you teach them to love by loving them? Will you foster a creative, curious, and healthy spirit and model to the best of your abilities a life of spiritual wholeness? And will you accept this responsibility, at times sacrificing your own ambitions and pleasures, knowing that your life will be made fuller and richer by the joy and experience of raising them? If so, say, we will.
Would the members, friends, visitors, everyone please rise as you are able? All of us in this congregational community have a part in this act and a responsibility for these children. As we accept these children into our fellowship, I ask, will you rededicate yourselves to an active concern for all the children of the congregation, to setting a good example for those whose ways and habits are yet to be established, and to creating here a community of faith in which children and youth may grow into full and effective lives? If so, please say, we will. We will.
I invite the children and youth to remain standing, and the adults can be seated. As you are closer in age to these children, you are especially important to them. Will you promise to help them, to be their friends, and to help them and to help make this congregation a good place for them to grow? If so, please say, we will. You may be seated.
Ren and Zach, what names do you give these children?
Tyler James Prost.
Tiana Joy Prost.
Tiana Joy and Tyler James. Ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Tiana? I don't know if you are. But we hope. Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Tiana Joy and Tyler James, may you be blessed by water, by minds fluid enough ever to seek new ground and new insights, hearts which understand the depths of human emotion, hands gentle as a running stream.
May you be blessed by earth, by minds unwavering in conviction about what is right and true, hearts steady and grounded in love, hands which are strong and firm in action for justice.
May you be blessed by air, by minds unwavering in conviction in what is right and true, hearts steady and grounded in love, hands which are strong and firm in action for justice. Oh, I did the wrong words there. Let me do it again. That sounded a lot like the earth, didn't it? The air by minds keen as the north wind. There we go. Hearts strong as the wind off the ocean. Hands as comforting as a cool breeze.
May you be blessed by fire, by minds keen as the north wind.
No,
hearts.
you're doing it. You're doing it, not what I just did.
I'm doing the same thing as you? Oh my goodness, I am. All right, we're going to try it again. We're going to be blessed by the fire, by minds which lights the way to new understandings, hearts which burn with passion and compassion, and hands that enliven by the spark of the creative.
May you be blessed by the Spirit which moves through all things.
May yours be minds and hearts and hands by which the Spirit takes shape in the world.
As today we have received these children into our community and committed ourselves to their nurture, so let us now receive all children into our hearts. Let us remember the children we once were and who still live within us. Let us love them now in this quiet moment as we remain seated and join in singing hymn number 123 and on the slide, Spirit of Life. And let's try something, if we can. Let's sing the song to all of us, this community we forge together. Spirit of Life, come unto us, and do the plural for all the words in the prayer. Let's see if we can do that together. Spirit of life, come unto us, sing in our hearts all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold us close, wings set us free. Spirit of life, come to us, come to us. May it be so, and amen.
Tiana and Tyler, we will appreciate your uniqueness.
We will teach you and learn from you.
We will love you and respect you.
We will delight in your accomplishments.
We will share in your sorrows.
We will encourage you in every way as you grow into adulthood.
And whatever may come to you, whether misfortune, affliction, or wrongdoing, we promise never to close our hearts against you.
We give thanks for your lives and for the new hope that you bring.
We give you a budding flower with the thorns removed as a symbol of the unfolding of your life and love.
And we give each of you a certificate commemorating this special day in your lives and in ours. Tiana and Tyler Prost, we welcome you among us. Excellent. Thank you so much. You kids were amazing. You're amazing. Great job. Here. Thank you.
Please stand if you'd like. We will now sing number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Oh
morning. Tom Harbison, President of the Board, sneaking into the program with a brief but important announcement. I promise it is not an advertisement, which that preamble sounds like. As President of the Board of Governance, it gives me joy to let you know that since Reverend Craig will have been working here for 6 years in June, the Board has approved a time of sabbatical for him beginning in September. During his absence, both our Credentialed Director of Family Ministry, Michelle McKenzie-Creech, and our Congregational Administrator, Maggie Rordan, will assume additional responsibilities. Our Committee on Congregational Ministry will form the backbone of a sabbatical task force and will be visited by UU ministers and lay members from across the state to offer their words at our pulpit. Reverend Craig will return to us in February, re-energized and ready to take this congregation into its bright future. Sabbatical is a time for new perspectives, not only for Reverend Craig, but for everyone. This is a special opportunity for us all to get more deeply involved in congregational life and to connect more vibrantly in making UCMC our transformational community. More details will be given, and a time for question and answers will take place at our interim congregational meeting following the service on March 23rd. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you all for... Thanks, Tom. Sorry, didn't get my thing on. And thank you all for this opportunity. Even though we plan for a sabbatical every year by paying into the New Jersey Leadership Leaves program with many other UU congregations across the state, when it arrives, it can feel sudden. Please don't worry. We have many details already in place, and we'll be filling in the rest in the coming weeks and months. But we wanted you to know extra early, because while our ministries here are always shared, our February theme of inclusion comes to play in new ways during times when the minister is away. I have no doubt but that many of you will rise to the occasion in ways you haven't yet imagined right now. And afterwards, as after all deliberate practices of inclusion, we will all be amplified as a result. Sabbatical time reminds us that here in this congregation, each of us is enabled to grow into their authentic fullness and become a vital part of how we do UUCMC. I remind you, too, that later this week, I will be traveling to Mexico to work alongside Caminos de Agua, Waterways, and Libros para Todos, Books for All, two organizations to which you have had the opportunity to make a donation. You still can do so. Check the e-blast for details. All this in continuing partnership with the UU Fellowship of San Miguel de Allende and its Social Justice Foundation. The synergy of our congregations joining forces has led to some true highlights in our work for justice the past couple of years. I look forward to reporting back to you in weeks to come, and thank you for your generosity toward these two valuable organizations. I assure you the money is appreciated, and every dollar you give goes directly to ensuring children can read their very own books for the first time and can have access to and drink safe water. For our closing words of benediction, words from the UU clergy person who has embraced a call to interim ministry, the Reverend Dawn Shea Cool. I invite you to join Michelle and me in saying together at the end of each stanza, we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are. That's ought to be in quotation marks, okay? Let's try. We let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are. Because there have been times when shame has crushed our ability to be wholehearted, we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are.
Because we have not always had the courage to be imperfect,
we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are. Because we have struggled to have compassion for ourselves or others, we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are.
Because we have been afraid of our own vulnerability,
we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are. Because we are sometimes too scared to live authentically, we let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are.
Because we want to be wholehearted people confident in our worthiness and our belonging.
We let go of who we ought to be and embrace who we are. Tiana and Tyler, thank you for reminding us who we are. Let us go in peace to bless the world.